at the end of the meeting. So keep note if you have any questions. No public comment. Okay, minutes. You've read the minutes. Is there any questions on last month's minutes?
Need to make a correction to Kim McMahon's spelling of her last name, page 2.
How do you spell it?
McMahon.
Okay. I didn't have anything that had her name on it, so.
Duly noted. Any other questions or concerns?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the regular meeting with that correction.
Moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as presented with correction. All in favor?
Aye.
Treasurer's report. Any concerns, questions?
Golden colored paper this month.
I'd take a motion to approve.
I move that we approve, the things and payrolls presented.
Treasurer's report.
Treasurer, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I'll second
Moved and seconded that we accept the treasurer's report as presented. All in favor?
it. Aye.
Claims and payroll.
Motion does be accepted.
Moved.
Second.
Good. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded that we accept claims and payroll as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Judge's report.
There's 2 months worth in there because he didn't have it last
Yeah,
month.
has 2 months in it. Read through that. You have that close at hand, so. There it is. I'll just read that out to the public. Total number of new cases for the month was 85. Total number of pending cases was 71. Total number of disposed cases, 67. Cisco is waiting on payments. Total number of active warrants is 97. Funds paid to the town of Plains for May was $8,238.70. Officer reports. Tony, do you have a report for the fire department? Oh, sorry. Why don't I give my report first? Okay. Don't let me off the hook. Water pumped in May was 3,699 gallons. We sold 2,947,500. So that's a 20% loss. One more reminder, and the last reminder for the council, any of you that want to attend the municipal summit, June 12th. I think we have at least 2 of you that are going. Have you thought about that, JD, or would you? Okay,
I'll get to you before.
tomorrow. Yeah, we'll want to reserve that, but yeah, in the next 2 days, I'd say
Okay.
I just heard from the mayor of Thompson Falls. I think she attended one somewhere else and said it was really beneficial, really good. So, and a number of you have gone to those in the past, and it's worth the trip. So, as many of you that can go, we'll do that. By the way, in our last meeting, it was brought up about Vicki Evans that she wasn't appointed, but I just wanted to clarify that, and it kind of caught me off guard. afterwards, I remembered the reason you weren't appointed is because you're still on the planning committee, and so you never went off, and you maybe knew that too. Yeah, her term actually ends December 31st of this year, so all of our planning committee members are now officially appointed by the council. Other than that, did everybody have a good Plains Day? I so far have heard nothing but good about it. I think it was, we're climbing back up to some of the good Plains Day celebrations. The turtle race was a hoot. I think there were over 60 turtles, so
Wow.
hopefully they found their way back to Compass Creek. Tony, fire department.
No major equipment breakdowns, no injuries, so it's always a plus. We did have a motorhome fire the other day, last weekend. The recording party did have it mostly extinguished by the time we got there, so we didn't have to do a whole lot. Just cool it down, flames were already out. We did a Fill the Boot fundraiser this weekend at Plains Day. That was actually Connie's idea. It was a great idea. Easy fundraiser to run. We made $773. So we had a couple guys walk down the parade with a boot. Did pretty good there. We set the boot, we sat there, gave out free waters. Took donations. It was good. It was easy. Good fundraiser. So excited about that.
How much did you have, Tony?
773. Typically no overhead for it, so pieces of water. Other than that, everything's smooth sailing. I did get one new guy too. He just got on the roster. He's a pretty solid guy. I'm excited to see how he'll do. Takes us back up to 10.
Excellent. Thank you, Tony.
Yep.
Police department today.
So there is up in the phone down there.
Oh, yes, there is. Next up here. I'll go ahead and read that for public.
There's an
Yeah, I'm going to save that.
Okay.
Police report, calls for service in the month of May were a total of 66. Arrests made. That's gotta be arrests. Okay, it says asserts made. I believe it's arrests made 1. Citations 158. Citizen contacts were 8. Business bar checks 35. Other agency assists 25. Reserve officer training hours 7. Reserve officer volunteer and uniform hours 11.5. We had some reserves also covering Plains Day, so we had a good coverage. And honestly, it was a relatively quiet Plains Day too, from the law enforcement perspective. Public Works, there's no one here from Public Works. We'll move on. And actually, by your leave, I'll go ahead and mention a few things that I should have mentioned in the mayor's report. One thing is that the pool is up to heat and ready to open. We have lifeguards that are going to be training this weekend. I believe we have 9 lifeguards right now. We've got 10 lifeguards also coming from Thompson Falls who will be trained by our 3 lifeguards that are all with the different agencies, Plains Community Ambulance, Plains Paradise Rural Fire, and Plains City Fire Department all have representatives that have gotten their lifeguard training certificates as well as being lifeguards themselves, and they'll be doing the training. And so that's an exciting thing. For years to come, hopefully we can have our own lifeguard trainers. They'll be starting again this weekend. And the pool board is, we have a kind of an ad hoc pool board that's made up of people in those agencies and other citizens that are making decisions in that area for the future. We also got our lawnmower in. The new Kubota lawnmower is here. I haven't taken it for a spin yet. Not sure they'll let me.
We gotta
But
get away from Corey first.
yeah, and we had a lovely day to mow today, so it didn't get used. So that's good news. Unfinished business. Parking of motor vehicles. Again, the parking, this keeps showing up, and it will every month until we get it done, but that onus is kind of on me right now in consolidating. But again, the holdup on here, so you know, is that we don't want to do this twice. Hopefully, we actually can put together an ordinance that we don't immediately have to amend. So any other thoughts? Actually, some came up today as I was discussing with John Ressler. There's things that we might want to add to that parking ordinance. And we had a talk with Chief of Police, Brian Josephson, and we want to set up an ordinance that we're not going to have to add to or amend immediately. So I would take a motion to, again, table parking of motor vehicles ordinance.
I'll make a motion to table it.
I'll second it.
Move to second to table parking of motor vehicles ordinance. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then the review of chapter 4 ordinance billing. We can't do that until it's written. We're still waiting on our attorney to write out that ordinance. And that might actually just be a resolution, actually more. I think we might be able to do that by resolution rather than actual ordinance amendment. So if we can do that, we can actually have that done by next meeting. So I would take a motion to table that until our next meeting next month.
I'll move that we table the review of chapter 4 ordinance billing.
Move and second that we table the chapter 4 ordinance billing. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. New business. Karen McKenzie is here with Sanders County Tobacco Use Prevention. I would like you to come up and present that to us if you would.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
I use this table.
Absolutely.
So again, my name is Karen McKenzie, spelled a little different, but that's okay. I am the tobacco education specialist. It used to be a prevention specialist, but they figured that we cannot really prevent people from smoking or having tobacco use or chewing or any of those things. Please know that this is not ever a judgment in my office. It is not my place to do that, but I am here to give education on tobacco use. And so I did bring some handouts, and I hope I counted on your website, so I hope I have enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this to you, Mayor, and thank you for having me.
How do you spell your last name, Karen?
McKinzie, and my name is Karrren.
R. Okay.
I'm a weird duck. And I'll let you go ahead and have this if you want.
Thank you.
So I am here mostly because Mary and I were talking about your parks. You have 3 parks in Plains, and only one of them, I went to the fairgrounds today just to double check. Only one of them has signs up that say no smoking. And they look like this, park, tobacco. And we do want you guys to have them up if you are willing to do that, just for the sake of other people, being around cigarette smoke. I brought with me, and Mayor is the only one that got the Clean Indoor Air Act that I have on hand. And I'm just going to read a quick portion of this. It's Montana Clean Air Act. It's a short title. This part may be cited as the Montana Clean Indoor Air Act of 1979. The intent is to find and declare that the purpose of this part as follows is to protect the public health and welfare by prohibiting smoking in public places and places of employment, to recognize the right of non-smokers to breathe smoke-free air, and to recognize that the need to breathe smoke-free air has priority over the desire to smoke. And I know that's kind of like a weird thing in some ways, because everybody has the right to do what they want. But I would hope that with everything that is out there right now, that everybody gets a little clearer picture of how hazard it is to your health. And I did bring along the quit lines. We have 4 different quit lines. There's a Native American one, American Indian one, pregnancy quit line. There's the My Life, My Quit, which is for youth. Vaping is very, very prominent right now. And then we have the adult quit line, which they have a new logo coming out this year. And I did go ahead and put all of those in for you guys to see and look at. And I did bring the youth and the e-cigarettes pamphlets for the parents if they want to get a little education on the youth smoking and vaping that's going on in the schools right now. It's just really, really important that we try not to have secondhand smoke around children and other people. And there's also such a thing as third-hand smoke, if anybody's not aware of that. That's like on your walls, in your cars, in your couches, in your rugs, things like that. That's the third-hand smoke. And anytime your dog even gets it. And it's just really important to be aware that we don't need that around us. So I appreciate you letting me come and talk. And I have these available if you would like them for the other parks. And this year I did go do the beautification in Thompson Falls. And we did find cigarette butts and some paraphernalia, but we did not find vaping paraphernalia. So it's still out there and it's still getting dropped on the ground, and some of those vaping tools that they use can actually go off in your pockets. It's just really not a safe thing. So just something to be aware of. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Karen, for coming down. Next on new business, Tracy Scott has been on the police commission in the past. His term expired and we did not, actually we kind of wanted it. For some reason our ordinance agrees that we're to appoint commissioners on May. I don't know why that's in the ordinance that way. So I've written Tracy a letter of appointment that needs to be approved by the council. He did a good job his last term. The rest of the police commission would like to have him continue to serve in that. And so I would take a motion to approve Tracy Scott as back on our police commission.
Make the motion that we reappoint Tracy Scott back to the police commission.
Second that.
Moved and seconded that we accept. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna write down that, the opposed ones.
Yeah.
I am proudly.
Thank you for your service to the town. Appreciate that. So also on new business is HB 355, which we just had a public hearing on. Again, and you know, I'll take this, since it is on the agenda, I'll take this opportunity to clarify that to any of the public that are here. HB 355 is a grant, a House bill that gave a grant to primarily improve infrastructure systems in the towns in Montana. And so we actually put in for that grant, actually during Chris's mayorship, to add on to the fire department and the backside of the fire hall and the public works building. We got denied that grant because it's not allowable to build a new building, it's to repair existing systems. And we kind of thought that would fall in line with that, but it didn't. So we do have the opportunity to reapply for that grant. The grant is, do you have the number on?
Well, 118 was closed.
Yeah, 118 is
Somewhere in there.
what,
Altogether.
it's like around $90,000 for the grant, and then we have to put in another 20%, I believe, for that. Add to it, is it 20 or 25?
I think it was 25.
Yeah, I think it might have been 25. So we had a public hearing tonight right before our meeting to just discuss other projects that we can do. During that meeting, if you weren't here, we had talked about one, we do need to do some repair on the existing fire hall and some expansion so that our volunteer firefighters for the city aren't putting on their gear with running trucks in front of them and exhaust, and they really do need some repairs in that fire hall as well. So the council tonight talked about the possibility we put that to see if we can. We still want to do that. We still want to at least not necessarily build on, but improve the fire hall that's existing. Maybe knock out a wall, make some extra room, and some improvements. Put a bathroom in. With that bathroom, it'd be nice to actually have a shower in it too for decon. Things like that. But right now, kind of negotiating those funds so that we utilize that whole $120,000 or $118,000 the best. We can also use that for road improvement. And so we're going to take a look at this next month how we can kind of flex our budget to still take care of our fire department, but maybe utilize that money for roads that we have to also work on. As you well know, we have plenty of that to do in town. Roads are extremely expensive. Just the asphalt for a mile of road, the asphalt alone, not the paving or the labor or the trucking, is like $250,000 a mile. And so to do even a quarter mile of road and then to actually have to contract that out, imagine like inflation all over, asphalt, contracting, all of that's really expensive. So if we can utilize that money from HBU 355 for that and still take care of our firefighters, we're gonna do that. So it's something the council is working on. Again, we don't mind your ideas at all from the public. If you have concerns or ideas or want to know more about that, feel free to contact me or one of your council members.
Are there any strings attached? Do we have to do something in return for getting the grant money?
No strings attached other than the 25% that we have to add to it.
Right, well, I'm just curious if they're gonna try and put some more rule on us because we accepted the grant.
Don't see any of that. It's a pretty common grant across the state. Doesn't seem to be any. It is actually from the House. So it's from the state of Montana. It's not a special interest group. Good question. The administration committee. We have a report from anybody on the administration committee.
There's minutes in it.
Okay. There are minutes for the admin committee, which is also doing the budgeting. And we're in process with that. Public Works Committee, I don't think there was a meeting for Public Works. I think it would be this month if you can put together a meeting. There are a number of things that we can put on that agenda.
Donna Lee reached out to me and I was delinquent in getting back to her in a timely fashion, so I'll take the blame for that.
No problem. No, I just think we have some things that we can discuss for public works. So, good, thank you. Parks and Recreation did meet briefly during the planning board. That was a mistake. Well, there was a little miscommunication there, and they met on the same evening the planning board met. I made my apologies to all of those. I said they could have used my office, but anyway, they did order some trees. I think, I want to say like 8 or 9 trees for the park, for the pool park, that they're planning to put in here in the next couple of weeks. Trying to organize that. They've been helpful with the pool as well. If you, again, we need to, I feel like we need to beef up that board. We could use more members for that. It'd be nice to have a board of 7. They're also looking at, as you might remember from, I think it was last meeting, possibilities for removing and replacing the horses out on the end of the greenway with something that will be a little more, have more longevity. So, but we're not, that's not something that we want to do fast. We want to, make sure that the public is part of that whole process. So, planning board has met about, I don't know, probably 3 times since the last council meeting. There is a new subdivision being proposed out on Lalonde Street near the high school on the one-way street. They have voted in a chairperson, Corey Booth is now our chairperson for that. And we have a board of very active, 7 people that have been very active, helpful with that process. That the first element submittal was actually sent in today. And that's something that we'll have a public hearing probably in the next 60 days for people in town to weigh in on that subdivision. It's a subdivision of 10 properties right out there, kind of right behind the bank and between the bank and the school there. Police Commission, if you guys have any meetings, I don't know.
Nothing.
Okay, good. No news is good news sometimes.
Yeah, we had a long meeting just before this one. Must have been, 15, 20 seconds. No.
Good. And Safety Committee.
I think we have till the end of June to do a safety meeting.
We need to get that scheduled then.
And we meet every week with Public Works to go over safety issues. Have a little safety meeting every week to, this safety meeting is more on a town scale. Is there any public comment on what we've talked about or what we haven't talked about? Anybody in the public have something they want to bring up?
I'd like to address this, what this lady over here was talking about, smoking ordinance. Really, outdoors? How much more control are we gonna give up? I mean, give up to the city or the police or the country, for crying out loud. They keep squeezing us down. I don't smoke that much. I puff on a cigar now and then. But I don't like being told that I can't puff on a cigar or whatever. And other people are, I mean, where do we end it? We start in the parks, and the next thing we've got a citywide smoking ordinance. I'm dead set against it. That's just one to air that.
All right. Thank you, Ron. Any other public comment? Yes, sir. Your name?
Dean Crabtree.
Hi, Gene.
So I got a couple things. One, the road conditions. I understand that asphalt's extremely expensive. What about concrete?
Doesn't hold
Yeah.
up. It don't hold up at all.
Okay.
With the fog, freeze, concrete's very porous, it absorbs the water. As soon as the water's in there, it freezes, it pops. You can put any sidewalk or anything, if it's not sealed.
The other one is the no left turns on 200. I was just wondering why there's an ordinance on no left turns on 200 or railroad or whatever that is.
Okay, thank you, Gene. Let me speak to that, just, that's something that, if you were on Facebook the last week or two, you saw a lot of comments on that. I will say this, that, our police chief has, it is confusing for a lot of people, I understand that, the U-turn, they're not sure, this is a U-turn, not turning to park. So the police chief has actually ordered signs, actually he had done this before this, that say no left-hand turn to park. The reason that it's deemed important is because that's a public highway that has a tremendous amount of traffic on it. You're crossing a double yellow line, and a lot of people say, well, you do that to go into McGowan's anyway, or you do that to go into the bank. But it's a little different. You're not actually turning around, making that three-quarter turn. So I think those signs that say no left-hand turn to park will be helpful. The reason it is also important is because it's a traffic problem, especially as summer is coming. Every time somebody stops, and you've probably all experienced this if you've been on McGowan on railroad, you stop and to wait for traffic to pull in, and you've now held up traffic all the way behind you. And so it just creates a traffic complication on a road that's already got way too much traffic in town anyway, especially in the summertime. And the other reason is also for safety, because when a person is pulling in to that kind of diagonal parking like that, the people pulling out aren't looking for that. They're looking for the traffic coming that one way. And so there have been actual accidents, and a lot of potential accidents for that. So because of safety, because of just the law of not crossing a double painted line, and for traffic reasons, we still deem it to be an important ordinance. Ideally, we can clarify it to people. I do want to mention this, and that was what I did get this from Brian. The vast majority of all those stops are warnings. The police department actually, here's the number. In the last year, there have been 30 written warnings for that traffic violation. There have only been 6 actual citations in the last year for that violation, which is, it did come up on the Facebook post, well, the city's making money on this. It's a $25 fine. The city has made $150 in the last year on that violation. I'm bringing that up just to say that the police department is not trying to stick people with that. We're really trying to educate people with that. But it is an important thing, I believe, to educate people to just not do it. Better to go down maybe to Studs and turn around, or go around the block or whatever and come back, and it'll actually help traffic in town. But thank you, Gene, for your comment. Is there any other public comment on any of these items or anything of a concern to the folks in town?
Did they plant the beautification garden? I thought I saw that not working in that area. Did that garden get planted?
I did see them working out there too. I haven't walked by it.
Emily said before beautification day that they did get planted, and she told me how much she planted, and I can't remember now. From that on beautification day, and obviously I was a little busy with other things, but yes, they did do some.
That's what I thought I saw.
planting.
Yeah, that'll be pretty.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have our summer parks workers been very vigilant and good at trimming trees and shrubs, and I think has the town looking really good. So I'm thankful to have her working for us as well. Any other public comment? Anything of concern? All right, well, thank you for all coming tonight. I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Have a lovely Monday evening.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, don't forget to vote tomorrow.
Yeah, don't forget to vote tomorrow.
What a wonderful place.
Right? But I was thinking
Yeah,
something
that's-
else.
right.
I mean, you know,
Yep.
I mean, that might be an interesting thing to do, I don't know.
Yeah, no, my-
No, it is, yeah.